Meditating on a regular basis has great benefits to your mind, your body, your health, all kinds of things. And I'm going to tell you how I have changed and evolved over 2 years time period of meditating every day for 2 years. So I started meditating a little over 2 years ago, but I wasn't really into it. I did it maybe once a month and it didn't really feel like it was doing much for me. It wasn't until I went to my first Dr. Joe Dispenza event and I was like, wow, this meditating has something, and I healed myself of so many things that I did start meditating every day after that. Because what you will learn is that sometimes when you heal yourself, if you fall back into old habits, then you can start to get some of your old symptoms and things back. And I was like, I don't want to lose this healing that I got, so I'm going to make sure I meditate every single day. I don't want to get out of the habit of meditating, because it's just like anything else. Like if you start to do a diet or you start working out or something, you feel like, I need to make sure I keep doing this to see the benefits of it. And then sometimes you might do it for a week and then you're like, oh, this is great. And then you stop, and that one day you stop, then you're like, oh, the next day you're like, oh, I don't want to do it, I want to do it. So it's kind of like that with meditating. I just did not want to miss a day. There's a couple days where it's like the end of the day and I'm like, oh, I was so busy, I forgot to meditate. And so I might have just done like a little 10-minute meditation at the end of the day, or I might have just closed my eyes quietly and kind of sat with myself, sat with my thoughts. Paid attention to things going on me or whatever, because I just wanted to make sure I was focusing on me and focusing on meditating and quieting my thoughts. So what kind of benefits can you have? Well, it just depends on you. I'm going to share to you what kind of benefits I've had. Now, it has been 2 years. The day that I actually healed myself was June 23rd, 2022, and then at the end of that event, that was like June 26th or something, 2022. And so after that is when I was really on my own meditating. Obviously you're going to meditate at an event, so I was meditating every day since then, and it's been almost exactly 2 years, a little over 2 years. So the first thing that happened with me with meditating is, now not everybody's going to just heal themselves. I know some of you watching are like, okay, I've been meditating for a long time and what's going on? Look at the subtle things that are going on in your life, and then you'll notice. And are you meditating every day? Are you meditating for 3 days and then you take off a week, or a week and I'm off a month? It's the regular meditation that really kind of keeps it going. Just like when you go to the gym and you work out and you like, oh wow, I'm really getting good muscles, and then you stop going for a while and you're like, oh, okay, they're getting a little weak. It's kind of the same thing. You don't really lose everything. That's really kind of your state of mind if you start losing things. And I think the meditating kind of helps to keep training your brain to say, hey, let's just get past this. Let's move beyond this. Let's evolve. And so by meditating every day, you kind of get beyond some of those old habits, and they just kind of disappear. It's not like, okay, I'm going to stop meditating for a week and everything's going to come back. It's kind of like when working out. It's like, okay, you stop working out, then you start losing the muscle. It's not quite like that, but it's a very similar thing. So when I healed myself, the first thing I noticed was my food allergies went away. I was able to eat gluten and cheese and sugar and all kinds of stuff without getting extremely bloated, without getting my joint pain. If you've watched my follow-up video after my 1 year of from my healing, you can see that a lot of the things that I had wrong with me, autoimmune, irritable bowel, Lyme disease, all those things, those all went away. My blood test showed that all those things went away. I was really excited about my belly. I used to get bloated even after drinking a glass of water, and all that went away. I felt like I was 3, 6 months, 9 months pregnant, sometimes depending on what I ate. And now I can wear clothes that actually don't hide my top. I always wore really loose-fitting clothing. My swimsuit now, I haven't worn a bikini since probably my honeymoon 20 years ago, and because really my health issues kind of started around that time, so it's been like 20 years since I've worn a bikini, and now I can wear a bikini. I don't look like I'm pregnant, and people aren't looking at me funny, I just self-conscious. I just look goofy. So those are big things right there that kind of went away. On my blood test, I haven't had my blood test done in probably a year, because like everything just got like magically better on my blood test. There was one thing that wasn't really moving, and that was my white blood cell count. And I think maybe after like 6 to 8 months of meditating, finally I saw my white blood cell count adjust to where it needed to be. And I was like, okay, I'm good. So if you see some changes and there's still other things, just wait. Those things will come. Another thing that came a little later was my brain fog. Now that immediately disappeared with my healing, but kind of trickled back in. And that brain fog, over a little bit of time, one day I was like, whoa, my brain fog's gone. So that went away too. Okay, so obviously this is like health issues. I got off all my vitamins. I was taking so many supplements. I got off of all of that. That kind of like, again, was things that kind of happened immediately. Some of it was a little over time. Now, I know that you're probably like, well, yeah, I've got health issues and they're still not going away. Just be patient, and slowly you're going to see little things go away. Just like my brain fog, I was like, oh, it's gone. I didn't even realize it. It was severe, and then it was gone. My allergy to mold disappeared too. I noticed that right away. I noticed it right away, but then wasn't until later on. I was like, wow, it's really gone. Overall, from meditating for 2 years, just feeling good. I mean, I was kind of like down on life. Like, I'm just sick, and it's just like, what's the point? I'm just gonna get old, and I'm gonna get sick, and I'm gonna get aches and pains, and I'm gonna get worse. But now I feel like that's reversed. I feel like I'm reversing my aging, and I've actually proved that because I did telomere tests with my doctor, and that basically shows, like, as you get older, the telomeres on the end of your DNA actually were shortened, and that just shows that you are older. And my telomeres were actually lengthening, showing that I'm younger. I think it said I was like 26 or 28 years old, and I'm in my 40s. So I reversed my aging. Speaking of aging, I could look at pictures of me from 2 years ago or before that, and I looked a lot older. Just my face looked all sunken in and weak and pale. My hair was kind of like not healthy looking. And my wrinkles even, I've noticed my wrinkles going away more probably the last 6 months, because that was something I was like, oh, it's not changing, whatever, okay. But I do feel like now they're starting to go away. My gray hair, I feel like it's a lot less than it used to be. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. I just feel younger too. I mean, I was getting my driver's license, or my daughter's driver's license, the other day, and I was showing her my picture, and they just let me renew online, and my driver's license picture is actually 20 years old. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, wow. And then my daughter looked at it, and she goes, you don't look any different. And I'm like, wow, that was a compliment to hear, because I was looking at my Costco membership card, which is 10 years old. And I was like, oh, I need to update that photo, because I looked at it and I look horrible. I look old. And I was like, oh. So 20 years ago, when I was a lot healthier, I looked good. 10 years ago, I wasn't that healthy and I didn't look that great. And so I've reversed to go back to what my daughter says, looking like I'm however old I was 20 years ago. And it was awesome to really see that. Another thing that has really helped is my confidence. My life, I've always been a very shy, kind of reserved person. And I feel like that has kind of gone away a lot. I feel a lot more comfortable around people. I don't feel like, I think I always was feeling like people were judging me, and now I'm just like, this is me. I don't care really what other people think of me, and I'm gonna be who I wanna be. So because of that, I'm not so shy around people, because I'm like, oh, are they gonna think I'm stupid or whatever? And so because of that, I have more friends. I really haven't had friends in a long time because, well, first of all, I probably just don't feel like I get along with people, and I guess maybe I'm just more outgoing, and people can feel my energy. I don't know what that is, but it feels really cool. Another thing about just feeling really good is my wardrobe has changed. I used to wear really dark colors, black and navy, dark purple, different things like that. And my colors, what I thought was color, was like plum and like a brick red and a forest green. It was like dark colors, and I can't put dark colors on me anymore. I just feel like it hides me maybe, and so I like wearing whites and brights and neons even, because I just feel like, wow, this is how I'm feeling, and I want it to show through. I've gone through my closet actually a couple times, and there's some clothes that remind me of old me, if you will. I feel like, oh, I remember wearing that, and I don't like that person. I don't want to wear that anymore. I can't wear jeans anymore. Like I was a t-shirt and jeans girl my whole life growing up, and that was me. And I put a pair of jeans on, and I'm just like, I just don't feel right. It's not that it's old me. It's just like I feel grungy, I guess, if you will. But that's just me. You know, I don't know. I just feel different. I want to feel like flowy or something like that. My patience has gotten a lot better. I used to have good patience, and then I think over the years I just kind of like, stress. And I was noticing I was kind of more edgy and impatient. That's gotten a lot better. My eyesight's improved. It was never really that bad, but I've noticed that subtly, like I'd have to sometimes wear glasses when I'd watch a movie or something, and now I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I can see it really well. And it kind of goes up and down, I think, and I think that depends on my mood. If I'm really stressed out or I'm really tired, my eyesight might kind of start getting blurry again, and then it gets better, but it really has improved a lot. So again, that shows like by continuing on meditating, and even outside of meditation, by being aware of how you're feeling can affect it. So if I'm, like I said, if I'm stressed or I'm tired, my eyesight might start getting a little worse again because my body is weakened, and so that's weakening that. But if I'm meditating more, if I'm taking notice of, okay, I'm stressed, I need to be aware of that and not be so stressed about whatever's going on, then that can help improve whatever I'm struggling with. And you can do that same thing too. I've been a lot more empathic. I think I've been empathic my whole life, but a lot more empathic, that I really feel people's emotions. And I go through phases of this. I think if I've been like deeply meditating or having really great experiences, then I feel like so much more in tune with everyone and everything around me. And I can just like be walking and I feel somebody. And sometimes people say that's a bad thing. Like you feel someone sad or stressed or whatever, and you're like, oh, I don't want to feel that. But when you do, if you do feel that empathy towards that person, and you feel, oh, they're sad, just send them a little love. You know, you don't realize that just by you feeling them, if you're exuding love and kindness and joy, that can go to them. They may not realize it, but that could help them. So just that little bit of love to that person can help. And I think that's, people that are empaths think it is a bad thing, but I'm starting to discover it's a good thing too. Another thing is the ties to my loved ones have changed too. So by me changing, by me healing, I have connections with my kids, with my parents, maybe with friends, but I've noticed it mostly with my kids and my parents, that my kids seem like they're in better moods, that they're healthier, that they're happier, that they're more free. They're kind of reflecting me because I'm breaking some ties with them that may have been negative, that something they absorbed from me. I let that go. It lets go from them. My parents, they don't do meditation or anything like that, but wow, I just noticed my mom, my dad were sometimes just like, you know, kind of just stressed or whatever. And I've noticed, I was like, wow, they're just a lot less, they're a lot more just cool, laid back. And I just noticed a difference, you know, and it's subtle. You know. I just noticed a difference in them. I'm like, this has got to be from me letting go. You know, with your parents, you've got some kind of ties with them. And by me letting go of stuff that, who knows, maybe when I was a baby or a child, I've let go of that stuff. It's helped release that from my parents too. Another thing, I guess goes back a little bit to the empathic thing or just being happy, is I don't like being around negative stuff. So obviously you don't want to be around negative people. Sometimes you're in those situations and you just can't help but be around those negative people. But the negativity in general, for example, negative music, negative movies. Sometimes I'm watching like something on TV, or my husband puts something on and I'm like, you got to turn that off. It's just stressing me out. Like high action, explosions, whatever. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Or like these cop shows. Oh my goodness, I can't watch those. It's just like, oh, what? You know, I used to watch that stuff and I was like, oh, how could I watch that stuff? It kind of feels like it's sucking the positive energy out of me watching that stuff. Music the same way too. You know, I was raised listening to like well, I enjoyed listening to heavy metal and alternative, and now I hear that and I'm like, oh, it's kind of a little depressing, or it's kind of shaking me up. And I more enjoy kind of either subtle meditative music. I don't really listen to folk music, but kind of along those kind of lines. A jazz music, dance music. That's the biggest one I kind of listen to, is real upbeat kind of music. Nothing with really negative lyrics. I can't listen to country music, you know. I mean, I wasn't a big country music singer or listener, but it just kind of like, because a lot of times I feel like they're like, oh, I'm complaining about my life and my love left me, and it's like, I don't like that. And so that's kind of changed in me too. A big thing that's really changed, and I've noticed this a lot in a lot of my friends, is just your evolution as a human being. And obviously you're letting go of things that as a child you probably didn't have. You didn't have these aches and pains and these stressful thoughts and negative energy and gray hair and wrinkles and whatever it is that you're having. But when you get rid of a lot of that, then more of the true potential in us starts to be revealed. For example, like the empathy, but also I guess if you want to call it psychic abilities. You're just really more in tune with things. Like I'm so much more in tune with nature now. Like I feel like I can feel trees. Like just yesterday I saw this plant. I had one that died in my yard from a freeze, and I wanted to replace it with a new one, and they had all of them there, and I picked out this one. I was just kind of drawn to it. I picked it out, and then I saw this other one, and it was like beautiful blooms and everything on it. It looked a lot healthier. The one I had picked looked a little wilty and stuff, and I went for that one, and I was like, oh, I'll get this one. And then I felt bad for the other plant that I had initially picked out. And even my daughter was like, no, Mom, you should get that one, the one that looked unhealthy. And I was like, all it needs is a little water and a little love. And so it's like I felt like this plant was upset that I didn't want to get it. I know it could sound crazy, but I was like, it was upset. I was like, no, I want you to pick me. You picked me, and why are you changing your mind? Because that one's prettier than me. And so I got that plant, just gave it water and gave it a little love. One day later, it's beautiful. It looks just as beautiful as the other one that I was going to pick out. So I felt like it was talking to me. And speaking of talking, sounds crazy, but I can talk to animals now. It's like it's something I tried out, I guess, if you will. And we had a rattlesnake in our garage, and I was like, well, let me see. I've heard of people talking to animals. Let me see. We were scared. We wanted to catch it. We didn't want to kill it. We tried to get it into a bin, and I was like, well, maybe I could coax it in there and talk to it. So my husband tried to do that, and he was like, oh, it felt weird. So I did it, and the same thing. I felt like this crazy vibration in my head, and I talked to the snake and told it to get into the bin so we could bring it somewhere else. And it sounds crazy, but the snake was like, a bird's gonna get me. And then I was like, well, if you stay in this area and you go to somebody else's yard, a human's going to kill you. I said, you're most likely to get killed by a human than a bird catching you out there. And right after that, it just slithered right into the bin. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I tried it out later on my cats. One of my cats had just been to the vet because it was sick. And the other cat, for some reason, was hissing at it a whole bunch and was like, it's like it sensed that it went somewhere else. And it was just being so mean to the other cat. And so I tried to connect up with the kitty, and I told the cat, you know, that cat just went somewhere. It was really scary, and he didn't like it. He went to the doctor. He wasn't feeling well. The doctor's trying to help him. I said, it was really traumatic probably for him. So can you just, all he needs right now is a little love. And as soon as I open my eyes, the cat that was hissing goes up to the other cat and starts licking him. No more hissing after that. And I was like, wow, okay, I guess I really did talk to the cat, because the cat had been hissing at the other cat for 2 days, and all of a sudden it just stopped after I did that. So I was like, wow, this is so cool. So you start to open up these potentials inside, and you're like, what else is possible that I can do? And so just being in tune with this and the possibilities of things that we can do out there is just really incredible. I've also seen a lot of crazy things. I mean, obviously when you meditate, you'll hear of people having like some crazy things happen. Now, this isn't going to happen for everybody. And it's going to be different for other people, because I have a friend right now and she's just like, she's seen all kinds of like sacred geometry and traveling through this and that and seeing pictures of this and becoming this. And I'm like, wow. And she's like, this is crazy. And she's like, but I'm not having experiences like you're having. And I'm like, well, that's just your experience. This is my experience. And for my husband, I know he says that like he had found out that he had a fear of the dark. Sorry if I'm bringing this up. Don't want to embarrass you, Kyle. But it was just like he had trouble meditating. And so, you know, maybe things like that might be holding you back. Like you might have this fear of, I don't want to see these weird things. Back in your subconscious is saying that. And so you're not seeing these weird things because you're too fearful of it. And so you just have to kind of surrender this. And I think the more and more and more you meditate, you're going to realize, okay, it is safe. It is okay. I want to see what else is out there. What else can I experience? And so the more you do it, you're like, wow, this is so cool. And you can realize that we are all very, very powerful. Like talking to animals. Did you know you could do that? I didn't know I could do that. I was like, that's psychotic. That's so weird. I used to think psychics were cuckoo. I was like, what are they? Oh, I know your uncle is talking to me, or, you know, I'm like, what is this? That's a bunch of baloney. They're just throwing out a bunch of stuff and guessing and seeing if it's right. But now I know that that's real. I've sensed that from other people too. And I've even had a situation where I've had people on the other side that have passed away reach out to me, and that's odd and cool and interesting at the same time. I was just talking to a man, and all of a sudden I said, because he had told me that, you know, earlier in that day that his fiance had passed away. And then he was just talking to me. All of a sudden I started freaking out because I could sense, I didn't see with my eyes open, I wasn't even meditating, that she was standing over his shoulder. And I said, I have to stop you. I said, she's here right now. And I was like, I know this sounds really crazy. This has never happened to me before. I said, she's here right now. And he's like, I've always felt like I sensed her. And she was like telepathically telling me stuff to tell him. And I was like, this is super crazy. I was like, what the heck is this? And so just by me meditating, I'm starting to like tune into more of this stuff. Like you are connected to everything in the universe. So if you're connected to everything in the universe, you can tune into an alien on another planet. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy. I did that. There was the CE5 contact thing, and I was like, whoa, it was crazy. I went to this other planet and these aliens talked to me. Yeah, I'm cuckoo, okay? But I did it. And how do you think people like Einstein and Tesla got all the information that they did? It's because they just, now I don't know if they sat down and meditated, but they were just tuned into those energies and were able to find out this information. All that information is out there. Everything that anybody's ever invented is out there somewhere in the universe. That idea is out there. And we can tap into it. If you want to have superpowers, then you could probably tap into some kind of energy to have superpowers. I mean, do you think the Avengers are fiction? Or do you think that that could possibly be? How do you think they built the pyramids? Do you really think that they had all these men lifting up these stones and got them precise, you know? I mean, maybe they had superpowers. Maybe they telepathically like made them move. Who knows? We don't know this stuff. But I think we could actually have these superpowers. And I think the more and more you meditate, the more you're going to realize, wow, I have a lot of potential and a lot of things can change. And if you don't feel like that, reflect back on how your life has changed from the meditating you have done. And okay, granted, yes, you are going to have some setbacks. You are going to have dry spells, if you will, because you may be like, whoa, I'm really progressing. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling incredible. Everything's wonderful in my life. I'm healing, whatever it is you're feeling. And then all of a sudden, oh, I feel like my symptoms are coming back. Oh, I just lost my job. What's going on? That's just the ebb and flow of life. You're not going to always be going up. You're going to have some of these ups and downs, but those downs are going to make you realize you're going to work harder. And by working harder, that pushes more crap out of you to make you open to more things like seeing people and speaking to animals or whatever other kind of potentials or things that are out there. And I think, sorry, there's a spider web right there. And I think the more that we do this and the more that everybody does it, it's going to help raise consciousness as a whole. And I think we could get a bunch of people together and build a giant pyramid by, I don't know, whatever it is we're doing, but we don't have to use our hard labor. We could do things like that. Again, I feel like that's just like a lost art, if you will. It's a lost ability, and we need to tune back into who we truly are. I don't want to say were, who we truly are, because we are those people. Another thing, past lives. You've probably watched some of my videos. Past lives have come up. I've even seen that in my past lives, that I was a truly powerful being. I was like, I want that again. I want to bring that here. We just need to remember who we are. And I think by meditating, which means know thyself, by meditating, you will know yourself. You can know yourself now, but you can know yourself from your past. You can know your true self, your true potential. Any potential that's out there in the universe is actually possible. Manifesting, that's another thing, manifesting. I've manifested so many little things. Some a little bit bigger. I haven't done like this wow thing. I guess if you want to say healing myself is a huge manifestation, but I haven't gotten like $5 million or something like that, but I've gotten small little things. And I don't even know what else to say, except that I guess I'm just reflecting it like, wow, 2 years ago, I never knew any of this was possible. That's pretty cool, because my life was not going in the best direction, and now it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool where it's going, and it keeps getting better too. So that's like, wow, that's a huge realization for me all of a sudden, because I'm like, wow, if I've just done all this stuff, what else is possible? And I'm not going to let anything hold me back. I'm not going to let the downs in my life hold me back, because I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot in the last 2 years, but I can reflect back and say, wow, what a ride. You know, it's like you go on that roller coaster and you're like, ah, ah, and the whole time you're just like, what the hell, why did I go on this ride? And then you get off and you're like, that was so cool, and then you want to do it again. So it's pretty cool. It's been a pretty cool ride, and I'm looking forward to more of the roller coaster. And as I say that, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure you want that? And I'm like, oh crap, what is going to come my way? But I think because of different things that have come my way, it's helped me to really evolve and see the potential inside of me. And you can't look at somebody else and say, well, they're just better at it than me. Don't say that. We all have the exact same potential. I look back at like a 1-year-old child, or whatever age you learn to walk. That child knows that he's going to walk. They get their foot forward, they do it. They fall, they get back up, they keep doing it. They know that they have the ability to walk. And what do you do now? You don't even think about walking. You just walk 1 foot and step in front of the other. You don't even think about it. And it could almost be a little bit like driving too. There's a lot of things. Speaking, you just do it. It's not like, oh, that person's better at speaking, that person's better at walking. That's just a natural thing we have inside of us. And all these things that I've talked about speaking to animals and being psychic and seeing my friends seeing visions of this and that, and maybe having superpowers even, those are all things that are all within inside all of us. And you can't say, well, just that one person has that, just that one person has it. Maybe at that point in time that's being revealed to them because that's what inside they're ready for. And you're only going to be given the things that you are ready for and what you can handle. And it may feel like a lot, but it's going to come to you when it's ready. Just like things might come up. I mean, things might come up from your past, things you may not have even realized you have buried down deep inside. But as those things come up, just acknowledge them and they'll go away. They don't fresh, oh, I can't believe that thing happened to me. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about that. Why did that? Just to say, okay, that's the past. I acknowledge that happened. Let's let it go. You might have some emotions come up or something. Just let them out. Those are going to be some of your lows maybe. and then move on. And because you've let that stuff go, you've stepped up to the next level. And because you've stepped up to the next level, you're ready for maybe something else to come out, or maybe something new to be revealed to you. So if you're like, I'm still not having visions, I'm not hearing things, I'm not seeing things, I'm not noticing any difference, try to just let go of limiting beliefs, let go of things that are holding you back. Just acknowledge things as they are. You could say, my life sucks right now. Just say, my life is how it's supposed to be right now. Try to see, okay, what can I do to evolve and move on past these things? And once you can move on past those things, you've let this baggage off of you. And because you have that extra baggage off of you, you can level up and move on to something cool, something greater. And the more and more you do it, I think the quicker and quicker you can evolve, and you'll get more of these incredible gifts from the universe and this incredible potential. So whatever it takes for you, and don't get disappointed. Set a goal for yourself about meditating every day, and also walk as it. You've got to just don't go, okay, I meditated, I'm good. I think the more you meditate, if you meditate on a regular basis, it's easier to start walking every moment of your life in that state. But if you meditate every once in a while, it's hard to carry it through. So just, if you want to set a goal, I want 30 days straight, 60 days straight, 1 year straight, whatever it is you want to do, and don't feel like, oh crap, I didn't meditate yesterday. I failed. Don't do that. Just say, so what? Okay, I missed a day. Just, I don't know, do it extra today to make up for it, or just say, I'm going to do it today. I'm not going to lose track. I'm not going to dwell on that. Don't dwell on things from the past, because those are the things that suck us away from our potential. We don't want the past. We don't want the negativity. Just get rid of it. Just be like, whatever. Okay, I'm moving on. Just look forward. Look forward. Be present, really. Don't always look forward, too, because looking forward, you're not being present. Don't say, well, I can't wait till I have this. I can't wait till I have that. I really want to have, I want to see this. I want to speak to this. I want to be psychic. Whatever it is that you're wanting. You can look to that, but don't focus so much on it that you're not being present with what's going on in your life right now. So if you'd like, make a challenge to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. We all have shit to go through. We all have the potential inside of us. Remember that. You have an incredible potential inside of you, and that meditation can really help you tune into that and become the best version of you.